All right, Bounce 107 Denver. It's your boy DJ Tony Snow, your favorite wrestler's favorite DJ. And we are joined today by somebody that I've been wanting to speak to for a very long time. She's had women's wrestling in North Texas on lockdown for a while. The one and only Miss Killer Kate. How are you doing today, Miss Kate?
I'm doing pretty excellent.
Thanks for coming on the show. And like I said, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. You've been running roughshod over each and every woman that's stood against you. You're the DFW All Pro Women's Champion, and which reign is this for you? Is this your second or third reign?
Yeah, this is technically my second reign, though it should be my only reign. I lost the title originally because of a mistake by my manager, Nastico. But yeah, first ever DFW All Pro Women's Champion, and this is my second reign. So
second reign, and you've had quite the rivalry with Alejandro the Lion. Let's talk about that some. First of all, the DFW All Pro Academy, they seem to be just churning out incredible talents as of late, and you're part of great homegrown talent. How did this rivalry with you and Alejandro start? What was the first match that sparked everything?
It originally started with a match to crown the first ever DFW All Pro Women's Championship, and it was a multi-woman match, and the match ended with me and Alejandra both pinning each other, almost like in a backslide move. We were trying to both backslide each other, and we ended up both with our shoulders down. The referee counted, and no winner. So then eventually we had to fight for the championship in a no disqualification match because there had to be a winner this time. And I came out victorious of the help of the leader of the DFW cartel. There were some instances where we lost a ref, we lost another ref, and finally my coach decided he was going to fill in, and people call shenanigans, but honestly I would have won either way. Yeah, same result. I would have won either way. It just happens faster. So.
And then she took the title away from you in controversial fashion, but then you won it back. So now you said this is technically your second.
Yeah, it only happened because I got hit in the face with my own belt, and she rolled me up at the Pro Wrestling Dallas show, our first one at Haltom City. I was pretty upset with the outcome, but luckily Nastico made things better and got me a rematch where things worked out more in my favor that time.
Let's talk about Nastico right now. He's your manager, correct? And the last show I went to,
yes,
you had a great match, but it seemed like every match on the card that night, Nastico decided to come down to the ring and get involved with. What's going on?
He likes attention, if you couldn't tell. He's very much a guy who just can't get away from the spotlight, and that's to his a betterment, but also his detriment, I feel, sometimes. Nastico does a lot for the DFW cartel, but he's also made some mistakes recently, and he's trying to make amends for that. I think part of that reason is he's trying to be out there for every member of the DFW cartel and be in their corner when it's not always a necessity, but I get where he's coming from with that.
The women's division right now, the last time I saw you wrestle at DFW All Pro, you had a pretty convincing win against Alabama. What's next at that promotion for you? You're the women's champion. You're pretty dominant. And what's next for you in that company?
Yes, so I know on June 14th I'm supposed to defend my title against the current number one contender from our last show, which is Angelique Winter Papaya. I've just got a long name.
I'm
supposed to defend my title against her.
One with the green hair?
With the blue hair.
Blue hair, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, she just colors everywhere. It could be green, it could be blue. It doesn't matter. Like, I say to myself on June 14th, it's gonna be I'm gonna wrap her in the choke and basically make her turn the same color as her hair, blue. So.
Nice.
And beyond that, obviously the winner, which will be me, I'm gonna retain my title. I'm not even worried about Christina Angelique. But on June 28th will be our DFW All Pro Women's Show, which is an all-women show. So all the women from DFW All Pro, but also women from all over Texas and also outside of Texas will be there. And that's going to be a fun show. I'm excited to see what kind of talents we'll have there.
It's one of the things I like about you is you focus so much on submission wrestling, because I love submission wrestling. I think it's a lost art. One of my favorite wrestlers growing up was Dean Malenko. And he just put submissions on anyone from any position he wanted to. So, I mean, there had to have been some sort of inspiration for you. Was there a talent, whether a male or female wrestler growing up, that made you want to do what you do and kind of influenced your style?
I would say growing up, Honestly, one of my favorites was definitely, I would say Randy Orton, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, a lot of people who looked very aggressive inside of the ring, where people do definitely influences and some of my favorites because it really showed the intensity that they had inside of the ring. I mean, kind of my influence for submission-based wrestling came from the fact that when I was younger, I really wanted to train in wrestling, but I was too young. So what I wasn't too young to do was martial arts, like jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, judo, and stuff like that. So I kind of dabbled in several of those things, and since I, was young and they let me do that, I was like, cool, I'll do this. Learned different techniques and stuff like that, and now that I'm able to do professional wrestling, I like to incorporate a lot of those into my style.
Growing up watching wrestling, were you were more of a WWE kid after the invasion? It sounds like, or did you were you into WCW at all? What did you watch mostly on a weekly basis?
I would say definitely WWE. I didn't get into WCW until like after they had already closed their doors. I really liked TNA during its run and like its current run as well. I was definitely into that. Also like ROH, a lot of the old ROH, like Low Key is always definitely one of my favorites, one of my inspirations. And as well as like the local indie scene, I remember going to places like XCW, seeing some of the local talents there, which it's amazing to see that now I get to share the locker room with a lot of those people, and it's just really awesome to be a part of the industry.
If you could book yourself in a dream storyline against anybody, who would you want to work with in like a sustained 2 or 3 or 4 week run, whatever it is? Who would you want to tell a story with if you could work with anyone?
That's difficult because there's a lot of good wrestlers out there. Does it matter like no limitations at all?
No limitations. We're talking dream match. I'm trying to get inside your mind here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I've said definitely like someone who I'd really want to face right now is Mercedes Martinez. She's definitely an inspiration. I really love like her matches and her style. I feel like she has that same intensity that I talked about with a lot of my inspirations. So I think that would be awesome. I feel like that'd be a good match. And then trying to just think about other people. I don't know. There's so many, but she's definitely one who sticks out in my head. It's Mercedes Martinez.
Now you're talking about TNA, and their current incarnation is Impact Wrestling. They're making some great moves. They've got Don Callis up there working with creative and as the president, and they just signed Jordan Grace to a multi-year extension. I believe they just signed Tessa Blanchard to a multi-year extension. It seems like women's wrestling is finally getting taken seriously. What do you think was the turning point where it turned from when women's wrestling turned from just like a pre-show entertainment filler to stuff that could be a main event contender on a weekly basis?
I definitely think that it had to do a lot with societal changes as well as like changes in other forms of entertainment. Like for example, I'm a big video game fan and stuff like that, and you're starting to see the same thing where there's a lot more protagonists in games that are female leads as well, in movies and stuff like that. So I think it's a societal shift to not just with females, but also with different perspectives. That just to have more perspectives of in all of entertainment and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool because I remember when I was younger that I almost thought like it would be impossible to ever see women in the main event at a lot of places. Like they had things like Shimmer and women-centric promotions, but to see places like WWE or like even Impact Wrestling putting a big emphasis on women's wrestling is just really cool. And I think it has to do a lot with people who have been trailblazers, but also societal change as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite main events in recent memory was Bayley and Sasha Banks at Takeover Brooklyn. Man, that was absolutely incredible. We have a lot of listeners who are based out of Denver, but we have listeners worldwide, so there's probably a lot of people that may or may not be familiar with you. If you could tell people they could go online to YouTube and look up Killer Kate versus, what's a good match that they could look up that would give them an idea of you as a wrestler?
It's hard because I don't think I have a ton of matches on YouTube. That's definitely something I need to put more out of. DFW All Pro is currently looking for ways to put out a lot of the content that we have filmed and stuff like that. So I think that's definitely an avenue.
The footage being taken, what's happening to all the footage? At all the shows that you guys have the big screens up and I see footage being taken, it's like that footage has to be somewhere, right?
Yeah, we have all the footage, and it's honestly actually all edited, and we're able to see it for like review purposes. I think it mostly comes from the fact that DFW All Pro is still a student show, so we don't ever want to put stuff out there that in any way might hurt. Not hurt, but like might make someone look bad in the process when they're still technically a student. You know what I mean? It's still definitely a student show, and they're still learning and stuff like that. So I think that's why. But I know currently they're looking for avenues to publish some of that footage. So be on the lookout soon. I know it's going to be happening soon. We're just creatively thinking about it.
I think people lose sight that it is a student show because you guys put so much into the production. Your talent knows what they're doing. You've got one of the best trainers around. And so I think people forget the fact that this is basically a student talent show showing everybody what you guys have been working on. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely grown from, I remember the first time I stepped in to the student show, even before signing up, just to see what it was like. And now, like you said, we have the screens, we have like a little higher production value and stuff like that. And it's hard to forget, since we have so many like talents that get brought in locally or otherwise, that it still is a student show. The kind of next echelon is obviously Pro Wrestling Dallas, is where we have like the international talents and stuff like that, and that's the next level for the students once they graduate. But yeah, there's still people on the show who haven't graduated and are still learning, and so we're just trying to give them an environment to really hone their talents in front of a crowd.
Now, that was something you were talking about, international talents. That was something I was going to ask you about because I've seen you posting this on Facebook. Something coming up in DFW with the Lucha Brothers on it. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, it's going to be the Lucha Brothers versus Crime Time, actually. It's going to be in July, on July 5th. The crazy wrestling weekend where I know Slammiversary is that weekend, New Japan is that weekend, and WWE is also going to be there during that week. But there will be local wrestling as well. Support your local wrestling, because once all those companies leave, we'll be the ones that are still there. But we're going to be bringing in awesome talent. Like I said, Crime Time versus the Lucha Brothers. Joey Ryan is going to be there. Cole Cabana, Holiday, Nicole Savoy. So a lot of all talents that are coming in to fight local wrestlers, and just to give them a showcase and show that, you know, Dallas can still produce a lot of like great wrestling talents as well.
Man, I didn't realize that I knew Slammiversary was coming to Dallas, but I didn't realize it was all that same weekend. That's almost like a mini WrestleMania week.
Yeah, actually, I really like we're that Friday, and then New Japan is that Saturday, and then Slammiversary is that Sunday, and yeah, it's like a little mini WrestleMania.
Man, that's awesome. Okay, well, Killer Kate, we really appreciate you. Before we go, if you could let all of our listeners know where they can find you on social media, give them all your social media handles and everything, where they can follow you, and just one more time, let everybody know, for our local guys, where they can catch you wrestling live next.
So my Twitter and my Instagram handles are WrestleKate, and then my Facebook page is just under Kate Fullen, Killer Kate. Catch me at my next show, which is DFW All Pro Wrestling, on June 14th at the American Legion in Haltom City, Texas. And then I'm going to be kind of all over Texas this next couple of months, so just keep a lookout on my social media pages and see where I'm going to be heading next.
The champ got a busy summer, right? You got to go around and show off that belt everywhere.
Absolutely.
Well, Killer Kate, we appreciate you letting us talk to you. Thank you for coming on here. And we're going to go into a commercial break. This one's brought to you by Matador Diamonds. Great quality, awesome price. Check out MatadorDiamonds.com. And Killer Kate, check her out on all social medias. We'll be right back after this classic right here on Bounce 107. Let's get it.